my name is Kathleen, too. And my question is for those against the motion, specifically on the subject of, I guess a lot of this has come down to cognitive ability versus as a learning supplement. And to the question of cognitive ability, in your study about attention and people's fixating on things or not being able to focus, if these things make them more engaged, my question is the relationship between engagement and information retention and brain plasticity, and whether there's any relationship possible in that for the emotion.
Thanks. Elias?
Well, I mean, when you look at rates of attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder and rates of stimulant prescriptions that I mentioned earlier, there is a correlation between that and the amount of time that kids especially spend playing video games. But we don't know how some video games can indeed maybe help in cases of attention deficit. I mean, it could be that as a result of, promoting engagement, then in some cases they can help ADHD, but that's not what the bulk of the research shows. And the connection with ADHD is one that has been tested across cultures and age groups and genders. So it's pretty established. But there are cases and reports of particular games helping in some cases of inattention. But more research is needed. I mean, can't make any conclusions based on what we know at this
Response from the other side, very briefly?
Yeah, so
Daphne.
There is evidence that one of the gateway to brain plasticity and learning is this type of attentional control we have been actually studying. Not only for obvious reason. Right now you have the choice of paying attention to me and learn from me, but you could pay attention to your neighbor and whatever they're doing, and then you wouldn't actually learn from me, right? But also because attentional control is linked to the release of a variety of neurotransmitters that have been shown in animal studies to facilitate learning and brain plasticity. Now that's one answer. The answer about video game is, as I told you, not all video games boost attentional control, that's for sure. And it's even more complicated than that. The same video game may boost the attentional control of Jim, but will not boost the attentional control of Joe that actually has ADD, ADHD. So we know from our work that those video games that boost attentional control in normal, healthy individuals don't work in ADD, ADHD individuals. And that's actually why we're working on at Achille Interactive. We know why. People that have ADD, ADHD get into those games, and they don't play in a proactive fashion. They always play in a reactive fashion. They spray bullets all over. They're having fun, but they don't plan ahead. So you need to design a game that actually forces the player to plan ahead. It's actually doable, but again, it comes back to design. There's nothing magical about video games. It's going to be a specific problem and a specific design solution given what you want them to learn.
And Asi, are you, after hearing these arguments, have you changed your position at all? Or?
No, I haven't changed my position. I do see a tension between, this side, our side, trying to claim that, there are strong case studies, and I could name many more that, some of them, by the way, go to clinical trials and done clinical trials, so I don't think it's accurate that there's none. But these would be almost like pioneering examples. These would be exemplars. And I think that we need to understand the context. The context is it's a young medium. Very young medium. Movies have developed for decades. TV, same thing, and not to mention books. We're talking about a very young medium in terms of research, but also in terms of design. But to me, the fact that we can start to identify those very, very strong pioneering examples, some of them, like the Sandra Day O'Connor story, are in the real world, to me, that shows the promise, because with evolution, we can just become more sophisticated.
And I'll give Elias the last word. Your opponent saying he's excited about the promise. And your response is?
I want to be excited about the promise. The evidence so far, 20 years into the digital revolution, is not very encouraging, and I hate to say that.